The Galactic Council, an ancient body of 13 progenitor races, issued the Edict of Eternal Serenity. After millennia of chaos, they decreed that all aggressive species must be demilitarized for the sake of universal peace. Humanity, a young and ambitious race rapidly expanding through the Orion Arm, was labeled a Tier 1 threat. The order was absolute: surrender 90% of the Terran fleet and accept Council overseers, or face erasure. The Council's diplomats expected compliance. Instead, the Terran ambassador stood up, looked the High Archon in the eyes, and said, "Freedom is not a gift you can take back." The Council didn't wait. A Peacekeeper Corps fleet, numbering over 10,000 capital ships equipped with singularity cannons, descended upon the Sol system. The Battle of Mars was a massacre of steel and fire. Our dreadnoughts, pride of the Earth, were torn apart like paper. When the red dust of Mars settled, the orbital shipyards were gone. The Council broadcasted a galaxy-wide message: the war is over. Humanity is neutralized. Under the shadow of annihilation, the official Terran government signed the Articles of Submission. But deep in the asteroid belt, Admiral Chen's hidden battle group went dark, refusing the order to stand down. As the galaxy celebrated the new era of peace, the Ash Protocol was activated in secret. It was a strategy of total decentralization. Factories were moved miles underground into tectonic vaults. Scientists abandoned traditional physics to study forbidden tech, instability engines and logic warping sensors. We became a ghost civilization. To the Council's tax collectors, we were broken farmers. In reality, every child was learning how to sabotage a HFY-class shield generator with a simple copper wire. For a decade, humans lived under the peace. Alien patrols walked the streets of London, Tokyo, and New York. We smiled, we served their drinks, and we sold them raw materials. The XYLR soldiers grew complacent, thinking the human spirit was extinguished. They didn't notice that the scrap metal we exported was actually components for miniature railguns. They didn't see the silent communication happening through encoded patterns in digital art. The galaxy declared the war over, but for us, it had merely changed its face. The turning point came on the colony world New Hope. A council governor ordered the demolition of a memorial dedicated to the fallen defenders of Earth to build a luxury plaza. That night, the governor's palace didn't explode, it simply ceased to function. The oxygen scrubbers turned into carbon monoxide emitters, and the security droids turned their guns on their masters. It wasn't a bomb, it was a hack. A message was left on every terminal: we remember. We never surrendered. Rumors began to spread among the stars. Merchant ships reported seeing moving mountains in the dark voids between systems. These were the asteroid dreadnoughts, hollowed-out planetoids packed with engines and makeshift cannons. They didn't have warp drives, they used gravity slingshots that defied Council detection. One by one, Council supply chains began to vanish. No distress calls, only silence. The Council convened in a panic. "These are just terrorists," the High Archon shouted. But their logic failed them. Terrorists fight for political gains, humans were fighting for the very concept of defiance. We weren't trying to capture territory, we were destroying the Council's sense of safety. We began kidnapping their high-ranking officers, not to kill them, but to show them our hidden cities, letting them see the millions of soldiers waiting in the dark. 15 years after the official peace, every holographic billboard in the galaxy flickered and died. Then, the face of Admiral Chen appeared. He looked older, scarred, but his eyes were like cold steel. "The galaxy declared the war over," he said calmly. "But a war only ends when both sides stop fighting. We never stopped. Check your sensors. We are everywhere." Suddenly, thousands of human signatures appeared on Council radars, right in the heart of their most secure systems. The Council sent an armada to the Oort cloud to find Chen's base. They expected a traditional space battle. Instead, they found mind mines, automated pods containing uploaded human consciousnesses. These digital warriors didn't miss. They didn't feel fear. They piloted their drones with suicidal precision, weaving through plasma fire to deliver antimatter payloads directly into reactor cores. The Council Armada was decimated without seeing a single living human. Fear began to rot the Council from within. Their soldiers, once arrogant, now whispered about the Terran boogeyman. We started leaving small tokens in their secure barracks, a Terran coin, a photograph of Earth, a bullet with a soldier's name on it. We proved that no wall was thick enough to keep us out. The war wasn't about bullets anymore, it was about the inevitable realization that humanity could not be owned. Humanity unveiled its ultimate weapon, a non-lethal quantum virus. It didn't destroy ships, it disabled their artificial gravity and navigation. For weeks, the Council's Golden Fleet drifted helplessly in the void. We didn't board them. We just broadcasted recordings of human children laughing and music from Earth. We let them sit in the dark, realizing that their superior technology was a house of cards. Seeing humanity's success, other suppressed species began to rebel. The Thrax and the Valari, who had been Council servants for centuries, saw that the Masters were vulnerable. Humanity provided them with the blueprints for our improvised weapons. The peace of the Council was burning, and we were the ones holding the torch. We reached the capital system of the Council, Celestia. But we didn't fire a single shot at the planet. Instead, we moved 3 massive iron core moons into its orbit. We have the controls, Admiral Chen announced to the panicked High Archons. We don't need to nuke you. We can just change the tides and let your oceans do the work. The war you ended is now at your front door. The Council's high command collapsed into infighting. Some wanted to use Starkillers to wipe out Earth in retaliation, but they realized Earth was a decoy. Our population was scattered across thousands of hidden habitats. To kill us, they would have to destroy the entire galaxy. They were trapped in a cage of their own making. While the Council was distracted by the moons of Celestia, human strike teams liberated every correctional colony. We didn't just free humans, we freed everyone. We destroyed the neural shackle hubs that kept the galaxy in check. By the time the Council noticed, their slave armies had already turned their backs on them. A rogue Council admiral tried to launch a bioweapon at a human civilian transport. In a shocking move, a human dreadnought intercepted the weapon, taking the hit to save the transport, and then we broadcasted the Council admiral's orders to his own people. The galaxy saw that the savages had more honor than the civilized leaders. The Council's economy disintegrated. Their credits were worthless because human hackers had flooded their banks with dead logic loops. Supply ships refused to fly without human-made navigation patches. We didn't conquer the galaxy, we made ourselves the only ones who could keep it running. Admiral Chen walked into the Council chamber on Celestia. He had no guards. He sat at the central table and placed a small, simple earth rock in front of the Archon. You declared the war over when we were down, he said. Now we declare it over while you are down. But we won't destroy you. We will just leave you behind. The new treaty was signed. It didn't establish a new empire. It established total sovereignty. No species could ever again be demilitarized by force. The Council was stripped of its military power, becoming a mere trade hub. Humanity was recognized not as a threat, but as the immortal guard of freedom. Generations later, the story is still told. The galaxy remembers the day that the Masters tried to end a war that humanity hadn't finished. We proved that you can take our ships, our planets, and our suns, but as long as one human breathes, the war is never over until we say so. The galaxy is at peace now, a real peace, built on the knowledge that some spirits simply cannot be broken.